Minister, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, pray silence for the founding President.
Dear Secretary of State, dear Ambassador, dear President d'honneur, dear Joachim Said, dear Bernie and Simon, dear guests, dear friends, it gives me a great pleasure to open the second Franco-British Student Summit. Last year I had the pleasure of greeting Madame Ayomari at the Hotel des Invalides, and this year to be hosted at the Lancaster House is something specifically historical. Le 18 novembre 2004, il y a eu une rencontre entre le président de la République et la reine d'Angleterre, et c'est à cette occasion qu'a eu lieu ici même à Lancaster House un sommet franco-britannique entre le président de la République et le Premier ministre. C'est ce jour qu'un parlementaire de la Chambre des Lords, Lord William Elbel, a choisi pour demander au gouvernement de Sa Majesté le soutien à l'Alliance franco-britannique. Et c'est ce jour-là qu'est née l'idée d'organiser chaque année un sommet étudiant franco-britannique. Et c'est donc un plaisir, au nom de l'Alliance, d'ouvrir ce second sommet étudiant franco-britannique. Je vais maintenant passer la parole au président de l'Alliance, Bernie Said. I may now hand it over to Bernie Said, the President of the Alliance.
Welcome to the 2006 summit of the Franco-British Students' Alliance on Global Competition in Higher Education, following the glowing success of our first summit last year in Paris on corporate responsibility in international development.
We feel that education is a crucial theme as it holds solutions for tomorrow's problems. We're delighted to have over 300 students and 60 eminent speakers here at the Side Business School and yesterday at official ceremonies in London.
We hope you will find our activities of interest to your company.
Trust people and empower them in a market system. In education, like in every other area of life, the market seems to do better than the state.
Can I just, I have to say something there. Sorry. We give the mic just afterwards. I took with me the last numbers produced by European levels, and actually Europe is catching up and now is up and higher in rates and numbers of students than in the US. If you take the numbers of 2002, EU 25 is 16.3 million students with an average growth per year of 3%, whereas in the US you are the same numbers, same date is 15.9, but the average growth is 2.1. So our improvement average capacity is growing up by far.
One of the problems of this is that in Europe, a very high percentage of students never graduate, whereas in America, almost every student graduates.
These days, most British people basically agree that universities should be independent, but there's a real role for the state. Whereas fundamentally, the French believe that university and higher education is a matter for the state, although there's a role for the private sector on the margins. And we were able to explore that fundamental cultural difference. And actually, we had about an hour of questions, and most questions were exploring that very point.
How did you find the range of students that were here from the 7 participating institutions?
They were great. I mean, the students were great. In fact, the students were in some ways more challenging than the official talks from the podium. It was great there were so many students from so many different nationalities and people popping up from Japan and Norway and Holland and stuff. And the students were clearly very animated. And actually the students really wanted to explore this business of the state-private difference.
Yes. And this is
do you not think that if you do exercise some kind of system where you're trying to take people on the basis of some having low grades, some having higher grades, but them all being judged to some extent upon ability or what you believe they might be able to achieve, that you're giving a kind of remedial role almost to universities, and that you may even in fact create what you're trying to avoid, which is a two-tier system, but perhaps within the university itself, where you have some students who are attending remedial lessons, who are trying to learn to write essays, so on and so forth, and others who are streets ahead, and that in fact you may create more division than you mean to by doing this, rather than perhaps raising the standard of state education.
This is actually a very old story. Before coming here, I read probably from a French book that the University of Oxford was founded by professors and students from University of Paris in 1133. So this was our first illegitimate child. And I think that in modern English language we call it an outreach center. So I would like to
force them out.
They were refugees. Yes.
My name's Alex Snelling. I'm the Recruitment Director for L'Oréal UK, and L'Oréal's been involved with the Franco-British Student Alliance for a few years now. It's the first year I've been involved, but it's something we are extremely committed to supporting, both now and in the future as well.
How important is it for L'Oréal to work with students on developing their ideas?
L'Oréal's been investing in students for years. We have major partnerships with key business schools around the world. We have two major business games, one of which is called L'Oréal Brandstorm, the other one of which is the L'Oréal eStrat Challenge. And we pour energy into creating these relationships with business schools on an international level so that we can develop the next generation of talent for our business.
How have you found the last 2 days' events and the debates that have gone on, and how have you found the students? What level intellectually in the debates? Is this what you were expecting?
I think there's been a couple of things that have been really striking at the Alliance Summit this year, the first one of which has been the degree of support that the committee's managed to arrange. Really some high-profile figures, both from the public sector, from industry, who've clearly been so involved and so excited about the potential that the Alliance has, and indeed the achievements it's already made. So seeing the kind of personalities and individuals who've been involved has been really impressive and very encouraging for the future. The students I've met, what's been fantastic is it's not just British students and French students, it's been from all over the world. It's a truly international alliance, and it's an alliance which is building on the Entente Cordiale, bringing that into the absolutely international multicultural context that we're in today in the world. In terms of the calibre, the debate this morning was very provocative, and I think the level of response and the level of interest that came back was extremely impressive. So we're certainly convinced that supporting the Alliance is a good way for us to obtain some really good talent.
One person said, we're never going to reach consensus. I should be rather disappointed if the group does, actually. I mean, I can't imagine a group like this reaching agreement on everything. But very lively, very good.
That is a good thing that there's so many
Absolutely.
And that we're looking at solutions for tomorrow today.
Absolutely. And my own view is that although a company like Thales, which is technology-based, as I said, is interested in the particular knowledge that universities contribute, we're even more interested in the brain power that comes out of universities, people we can recruit and can come and work for us. And so to see that the university sector is in good health, as it were, and is producing excellent people, lively people, that's good news. The challenge for Thales and for other parts of British manufacturing industry is to attract people like the ones you've got here into manufacturing industry. We don't do it enough in the UK for some reason. I think there may be a difference here between the UK and France.
This is the next generation of leaders, of universities, of government, of business, of the professions. These are the people who are going to be able to influence what happens in our respective countries. And it's therefore very important that there's a good understanding of the issues as they're seen from different perspectives. And the subject that's being addressed here is not only then helpful in terms of bringing together people from different nations, but also in terms of considering something that should be of great benefit to Europe as a whole, hopefully to the world, if one can create these sort of families of universities addressing major questions of the future.